Yes, people, welcome back to the channel where Bukayo Saka has signed a new deal at Arsenal to 2031. They have locked him down for another 5 years. If people didn't know, then David Ornstein dropped the bomber earlier today saying that Saka has agreed terms on a new deal. His current one was expiring only in 2027. I didn't even realize that myself. It was coming so quick. Literally a year and a half today. But now Arsenal has signed him to 2031, keeping him for his prime years from the age of 24 at least to the up age of 29, where by then they're hoping to win maybe one, maybe two, maybe three Premier Leagues because Arsenal are looking for domination. This is what this signing does for Arsenal Football Club. I think it sends a statement out. I think this is a big statement from Arsenal, by the way, because you've seen players like Van Persie, you've seen players like Henry leave the football club back in my time when I was growing up. But Bukayo Saka, he had been linked with Man City a few years ago. He said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying at Arsenal. I want to help get this team back to the top and winning the Premier League. And now Arsenal are literally sniffing the Premier League title. They're getting deep into the Champions League. They want to push in the FA Cup, I'm sure. And I'll talk about that. But this Arsenal team are now keeping their best players. Saliba's not gone anywhere. Gabriel's not gone anywhere. Declan Rice, Odegaard. Now you've got Saka. You are keeping your best players. You are getting them tied down to new deals. If players want to leave, you've got to spend the money, big teams across Europe, because players want to stay at Arsenal right now. And that sends the right message to the fans, to the rest of the squad, to the boardroom, and through to the manager. Everyone is pulling in the right direction at Arsenal. And look, you might have drawn against Liverpool. Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointing result. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's taken a while to get there. But as much as I hate it, Arsenal are getting there, people. I've got to be real. Arsenal are getting there right now. And I think Saka signing a new deal, as we can see here, people, confirmed. Saka, whose previous deal was due to expire in 2027, is finalising a new and improved contract that will take him to 2031. The England international has become a very key player for his boyhood club under Arteta, playing more minutes than any other Arsenal player since his appointment in 2020. Well, that tells you everything you need to know. An attacking player playing nearly the most minutes. He's played at left back when he first come through, played at left wing, played at right wing, and now he is a regular England international. And do you know what? Saka might not be one of them players, right? That is, I don't know who, like a Lamine Yamal who just can conjure up brilliant individual moments out of nowhere, show that world class potential and what he is. I don't think like Saka's like that. Saka's just an efficient, solid player that leads by example. Always pretty fit, if I'm honest. I think he played 80 games in a row before he got that injury. He sets the right tempo. He's consistent, efficient, delivers great crosses, can finish, can take pens. He's not going to set the world alight by dribbling past four man and doing all that, but he just gives you that solid foundation. He's just consistent. He's there. He gets what it's like to be at Arsenal. And sometimes when you have a player like that, it means more than having two or three players because they just have it running through the club. They can help the youngsters coming through. He leads that sort of foundation of being from Arsenal Football Club from a young age. And I think this is a big move because for me, how I look at it is that you've got a player who's English, who's coming into the team right now as the deputy captain behind Martin Odegaard, and you've got Declan Rice and Saka, two key players of the international side, playing for Arsenal, starting and committing their futures to the football club. And then you've got the international contingent of Gabriel, Saliba, Odegaard. Your main players that you look at, your spine or the core that you want to have that helps you stay at the top and competing for 3, 4, 5 seasons. When you look at Liverpool, you look at Manchester City that have done it in the last 6, 7 years. You keep your core players. You understand how vital it is to have them. Your Trents, your Salahs, your Van Dijks, who Liverpool did have, your Manes for years. Then you got Man City with the Agueros, the Kevin De Bruyne's, the Yaya Tourés, David Silvas, whatever it is. You have that Bernardo Silva, that core foundation that, yes, players might leave and come and go. But when you keep that core there, you're always going to be up there competing because players will come in and chip in, but you've got that foundation. You can have a brilliant house, but if you haven't got the TV, the bed, the furniture, the fridge, and the washing machine, nothing's really going to quite work. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what Arsenal have got right now. They've got a lovely house, but they've got stuff that are going in there and staying in there. And I think this is a big move because fair play to Bukayo Saka because obviously I think that with 2027, Arsenal needed to tie him down to a new deal. He's going to be now one of the highest paid players in Europe in terms of his position, I believe. But I think it's respectable And he deserves it because he's done a lot for Arsenal. He is consistently fit a lot of the time. I think he's been a big part of helping them get back to where they want to be, competing for the major trophies, winning Premier Leagues. And I do think that, when you look at the right winger space right now in world football, there's not exactly loads of players on that sort of level. Obviously, you've got Lamine Yamal, you've got Saka. There's obviously other players off the top of my head that I'm just not thinking of right now. Esteval's obviously coming through, and that you've got Michael Elise. But when you look at the top bracket of Elise, Saka, and Lamine Yamal, they're probably the top three right wingers right now when it comes to my head that I'm thinking of. So, Arsenal have got one of the best in that position. You don't need him to leave. You don't need to sell him. You don't want him to go anywhere. The fans are connected to him. Saka's connected to the club. He's a London boy. So you want to keep them type of players around the football club. And to have him now signed to 2031, I think is a great platform for Arsenal to build off, because what it only does now is it shows the commitment from key players at the football club, that if you're a player at the football club, you're like, well, the best players are staying. I don't want to go anywhere, because why would you want to leave? Unless I get it, Barcelona, Real Madrid, if they come calling, football, you only have a short career. You want to go and play in Spain at one of the biggest clubs. They're probably the only two clubs I'd look at that I could say potentially I'd leave for. And some people might even disagree with that in the comments here. But if you're an English club or whatever it is, it's not Real Madrid or Barcelona, you're wanting to stay at Arsenal because you're going to be competing for all the major trophies. You're going to be winning trophies, I believe now. I think they're ready to win now. They've learned from the last few seasons. We will see, but I believe they are. And the best players are staying, like I said. So it's like, why would you want to leave? Why would you want to go anywhere? Unless for your own career, you're not playing, so you need to go and play. I get that. But if you're one of the starters and you're in that team or you're in the squad and you're getting minutes, this is the place you want to be right now, because Arsenal have got a great squad. They've got a manager that knows the club now. I know he's yet to win the big things, but Arteta, I think, is ready to take that step. And you got a fan base that, yes, they're a bit turmoil at time, but they love their club. Arsenal fans, they love their team. They want nothing more than to see their team win that Premier League. Because in May, don't go to North London; it will be locked off. So I think this is a big statement, and I think him being deputy captain as well, I think that's given him that leadership. He's grown, he's matured as a player. I think when you look at Saka at 24 years of age now, do I think he's going to get way better than what he is now? No, I don't, because I think he's just that type of player that's just efficient and technical, and he's just solid all-round game. He's got good IQ as well. He can't really improve too much. You know what I mean? He's not going to get quicker. He's not all of a sudden going to start dribbling past four man and lashing it from 35 yards. Like, he ain't going to do that. He's just a very efficient, leads by example, sets the tone, contributes as well. Because you look at his stats this year, 4 goals, 4 assists. He's actually not got a lot of goal contributions, to be fair. 8 in 19 games, not a lot. 6 goals last year, 10 assists, 16. The year before that, 16 and 9 assists. So he got 25 contributions. So he's got 25 in 23, 24. Last season, he got 16. This year, he's on 8. So actually, the numbers are regressing. But you don't look at Saka and say, oh, his numbers are regressing, because he's always there on the pitch. You can see him being counted for. He's not just not getting numbers but playing rubbish. He's there, he's involved. So he's not really a numbers man. That's what I mean with Saka. He's just an efficient technical player. And if other players can get the numbers around him, of course, Gyökeres is struggling at the moment, but you've got Jesus coming back, Havertz coming back, you've got Madueke now back, Trossard's chipping in, Declan Rice is starting to chip in, Gabriel from set pieces. If you have other players, helping around, then the pressure is a bit deviated from Saka, and he can just focus on what he's doing. He's got competition now as well. Even though he's signing this new deal and he's deputy captain, there's no, Saka's just guaranteed to start. He's got Madueke, another England international, breathing down his neck. And that's a great thing to have at the football club, competition. And Madueke is going to want to start at the football club. He's going to get his opportunity in games, but it now gives opportunities to Arteta to rest Saka, rotate him, and know that you've got adequate cover in Madueke, who's trying to force himself into the England squad, competing for titles as well. So that actually might help Saka stay fresher, help him be better in bigger games, because normally he's just relied upon his Saka every game. But I think this is a great move for Arsenal. I think the deal sets the right tone. The football club are moving in the right direction. They're backing the manager. The players are backing the manager. Everyone's pulling towards, wanting to not dominate, because it's hard to dominate, but push, like, we want to win the league. Okay, next year we want to defend it. You're building a squad. You're building that dynasty. A bit like Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL. They had that 3-4 years where they just got to the Super Bowl final every year. I think they won it 3 out of 4 years or whatever it was. But yeah, it's come to an end this season. But you just have them few years where you're just like, right, everyone's in their peak, everyone's in their powers. Let's go for it. And Arsenal are in that right now. So, guys, let me know your thoughts. Bukayo Saka signing a new deal to 2031, making him one of the highest paid players in this position. But look, at the end of the day, I don't know why you'd want to leave Arsenal. They're competing, and he breathes Arsenal Football Club. Like this video, subscribe, help me on my way to 5K. Big up, people.